everyone, how are we today? Just doing another super quick reading today. We are going to be looking at your housing, your home life, just a quick sort of check-in, anything important that you need to know in regards to your house, your home life. Okay, house, home, whatever that means for you, the situation that you yourself are in. Obviously, they are collective messages, so we'll be sort of, what resonates the strongest with you. If your sun sign's not resonating, check your moon sign. So close to the full moon, quite often the moon signs resonate very strongly as well. Speaking of which, we will have the full moon shadow work reading tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that one. That is why I'm doing the quicker readings this weekend, because we will have that full shadow work reading tomorrow for that full moon. Okay, and to be completely honest, there probably will be a delay in the weekly readings, so I probably will be uploading a day later than our normal schedule. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place today, guys. It is super hot here in Australia today. Would you believe it is 8 o'clock at night and it is still like really hot? So trying to deal with what we've got, all right? As always, there will be timestamps in the description box, so you're more than welcome to skip ahead to the correct sign for yourself. Please subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate that. It really does help out, so thank you so much. I am using the Jelly Bean Lenormand today as well. Okay, so starting off with our Aries. Okay. All right, Aries. Aries, any messages for Aries regarding home, house? Any messages for Aries regarding their house or home life? House and home for Aries, please. Okay, Aries. The very first card we have for you is the snake. Okay, so as soon as I drew that card, I kept hearing pipes. And then with the next card being the bear here, there may be a need to protect your pipes, the pipes in your house. There may be some sort of plumbing issues in the house at the moment, or you're needing to protect against plumbing issues. I'm kind of getting like, like you put that stuff down your drains to, remove any build-up and blockages. You may just need to do that for your house at the moment, Aries. That's a very random, not what I was expecting to get, especially as the very first message today. But I am sort of picking up on pipes, plumbing. Okay, so there may be something there for you, Aries, when it comes to your plumbing. The bear and the snake combination, it really does talk about protection and protecting your boundaries. So there may just be, some issues going on with the property boundaries, that sort of thing. But with the snake there, it would sort of show us that there is potentially a little bit of deception when it comes to the boundaries of the property. Okay, so if you are having, some sort of neighborhood dispute, there may be somebody trying to deceive you that the boundary is a certain spot where it's actually, you actually have more space than you're being led to believe, that kind of thing. So I am picking up on things like fencing issues. There may be problems with a neighbor here, Aries, to do with, the boundary of the property, the house, where you are currently living. And for those of you who do live with others, it may just be your personal space. So, like your bedroom, making sure that, that boundary is protected, that people aren't, encroaching in on your space and that sort of a thing as well. I do have the tree here as well, Aries. So there does seem to be some sort of connection to family when it comes to your home life. And I'm getting that it's like, not so much branching out, but it's kind of like maturing, and your place in the family, your position, maybe sort of moving into a more mature role within your family structure. Okay, so for some of you, you may be needing to sort of take on a few extra responsibilities around the home, specifically to do with family. If you do sort of live with family, or need, maybe there's, like, especially, Christmas is around the corner. So maybe you've got family staying over Christmas, or you're staying with family. So there may just be the need for a more mature approach around housing situations in the next few weeks, especially. With that Christmas, and really respecting each other's boundaries does seem to be very, very important here, because, there just does seem to be a little bit of deceptive energy in regard to the boundary stuff. So, somebody might be trying to sort of say that, oh, no, I'm not going to cross that boundary. That boundary is not getting crossed, but, lo and behold, that boundary is getting crossed, that sort of a thing. But really needing a mature approach, and, focusing on, your own growth within the situation. The tree does talk about self-growth quite heavily. So I do feel as though, that's a form of maturity, showing that you can deal with any conflict, in a different kind of way to what you maybe would have in the past, dealing with things in a much more mature way, showing that you have grown up a little bit, regardless of your age. All right, Aries. So that's what we have for you. So you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. And moving right along, we'll move on to our Taurus. Taurus, any messages for Taurus regarding house and home? Taurus, house messages for Taurus regarding house and home, please. Firstly, we see the clouds coming through here for you, Taurus, it's the card of thoughts, but it does talk about, a little bit of confusion, that, maybe a little bit of anxiety. So you may be overthinking things a little bit around the house, to do with your home life, because the next card we do have is the Anchor, followed by the Letter. So, the Anchor does show us that there's this need for stability and reliability when it comes to the housing situation. So if you are living with other people, there may be the need for, us to actually have a conversation, with the communication card there as well. Something that's heavily in your thoughts about the way that, oh, I need to be able to rely on you to, take the bins out, or help with the groceries or the cooking, or, things like that. I am picking up for a lot of you. It's just to do with, reliability around the household and things like that. For some of you, this is specifically talking about a bill that stresses you out, because it's something that you kind of feel as though you should have expected it, to be honest, because, it feels like with that anchor there, it's like a reliable bill. So it's like a bill that comes at a certain time or something like that, some sort of paperwork that comes at a very specific time frame, and you like totally forgot that, oh, I better save money for that, or put money aside for that particular bill. And, it kind of just stresses you out, gives you a little bit of anxiety. You're overthinking about, how am I going to sort that out, that kind of thing. Just hold yourself very steady and stable, because you may be feeling a little bit stuck around the house, the home life at the moment, Taurus. The best thing for you here is communication about your thoughts, because I really feel that with that clouds and then the letter, closing that out there, that the more that you're actually talking those thoughts aloud, the more that you're able to get sort of objective viewpoints, and other perspectives on your thoughts regarding the house. So you may actually realize that there is a little bit more stability around you than you realize. Okay, so I just feel as though for a lot of you, communication about your thoughts will actually really help you, with when it comes to anything around your house or your home life. Make sure you are sort of talking to people about that, or asking for help, asking for ideas on how can I do this, what do I do, that sort of stuff. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask for help around the house if you do need it, Taurus. Especially, around things that, we need some sort of reliability or stability, with housing. Okay. So that's what we have for you, Taurus. Just picking up, there was something else there, Taurus, and it's just not. What is that secondary message for Taurus regarding house? Oh, it's just wanting to talk a little bit further about the types of conversations, because we have the birds and then the book. So the conversation card, and then the book of knowledge, the book of finding out, researching the things that you don't know. So if there's things that you don't know how to stabilize, how to deal with around the house, don't be afraid to ask for help. Learn what you need to learn to move those things in the right direction for the house, for the home. Okay. Don't be afraid to research. Don't be afraid to ask for help. All right, Taurus, but that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini, messages for Gemini regarding housing. Messages for Gemini for house and home. Happy home, Gemini. Some of you may live by yourself. The first card we have is the Tower. So don't be afraid with the Tower coming through there. Don't be afraid to let people into your space, Gemini. It's it's no good to isolate yourself too much. Is sort of what I'm getting with that Tower energy. So even if you do live with others, there may be an element of isolating within the household here. For some of you, though, we do see like authority figures come through with the Tower there, as well as like very structured, regimented, governmental things as well. So for some of you, there may be the need to I feel like maybe that's for people specifically that are seeking new housing. There may be some sort of something connected to like a governmental or some sort of authority. So some of you may be in like military housing or government housing, or about to get that sort of housing, if that's applicable to you, because it's followed by the sun, which does bring things to light, reveals things. So there may be some sort of housing related governmental grant that you're eligible for here. Like I know here in Australia we get certain people get rental assistance type things. There is governmental housing here in Australia. There is defence force housing, military housing, some sort of structured housing. So for some of you, this could actually be talking about, because I know it's quite big overseas. It's not a thing here in Australia really with the, we call it strata when there is a few here in Australia. But I know in America you've got the housing association stuff. What do you call it? The HOA. There may be something that they can help you with when it comes to housing, your home life. Maybe getting in good with them, because it does actually, whatever this structure, this authority, governmental type figurehead here is, it reveals further happiness and warmth for you. So especially for those of you in winter countries where it's winter right now, I know it's summer here in Australia, but for those of you where it is, quite cold at the moment, there may be some sort of heating warmth that could be revealed to help you here, because we do also see the lily coming through, which is a long-term card. So this could be something, long-term housing, long-term, help, long-term, relationships, because it is the card of emotional intimacy there as well. So I'm picking up, things like, creating a positive relationship with places like your HOA or the people that are in charge of the rent, like the landlords or whatever that is in your particular situation. The relationship, the emotional connection here seems to be important for the longevity. So, especially too when it comes to, if you are having to deal with any sort of governmental, departmental authority or anything like that. So that may be something to keep in mind there, Gemini. So I know that that's not going to resonate for everybody, but for those of you where that doesn't resonate specifically, the sun was there. So we see happiness in general. So, happy home life in general for the rest of you. But you are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Like I said in the intro, your moon sign quite strong at the moment with that full moon happening tomorrow. So, keep an eye out for the shadow work reading tomorrow, and subscribe, and we will move on over to our Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Cancer, messages for Cancer regarding house and home. Any messages for Cancer regarding home life or housing? For those of you who are wanting a new property, or trying, have been applying for new properties, I'm picking up strongly that for someone here, there may be a new property. It may be a relocation, but it may be, for someone, it may be like a brand new house. Because firstly, we have the key. Okay, so straight away we're you're getting the key put in your hand kind of thing here, Cancer. A brand new opportunity. It does talk about brand new opportunities. So that opportunity is going to be successful. So if you're like applying to rent a property, there is, successful potential here for that. We do also see the dog energy coming through. So this property may somehow be signified to you through an actual dog. I'm getting, there may be a barking dog in the neighborhood, or maybe that's why you're wanting to move away from a barking dog. You may meet like a neighbor with a cute dog or something like that, or there may be like a dog motif on something. I'm seeing like a leaflet with like photos of a house and then like a little dog symbol. It may be the house that's pet friendly. If there's multiple ones in the thing, dogs and I feel like it's more so here because the dog is the friendship card, but I'm actually picking up that this is an actual physical, like an actual dog connection. It may even be like someone showing you through the house and they've got a dog with them or something like that. But we do also see the ship. So, we're definitely moving. The ship talks about, moving, starting a brand new journey. We do have two cards telling us there's sort of this new kind of opportunity, new energy, moving kind of energy. Some of you may find this is at a little bit more of a further distance than what you thought you were going to move as well. So some of you may be moving just a little bit further. So if you are looking for properties and you haven't found the right one yet, just expand your radius just a little bit, because you may actually find the perfect place just at a little bit of a further distance than you thought you were willing to accept. But it seems to be the house, but you're moving. Okay, one way or another, it looks like you're moving soon, Cancer. Okay, but you know, with those of you where that's not an actual move, you definitely could be opening your house up to a friend to come stay from a distance. You could be just bringing in new elements within the household. Maybe you're getting a dog. Okay, Cancer. You know, but you are more than welcome to check your other placements as well. Please subscribe, and we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo. Leo, any messages for Leo regarding house and home? Housing and home life for Leo. Probably should have added into the intro that this reading does seem to only be appropriate for people that, you know, housing is, there is a specific kind of issue or something. It's not really showing general things. It's more talking about specific things for everybody, which is quite interesting. Can you please clarify this message for Leo? For some reason, 27 and 26 seem to be important here. Okay, so when I've asked for clarification, I've got the Tower, which the Tower does talk about foundations. It talks about, you know, authorities, traditions, governmental connections, you know, like the housing authority, the real estate, those sorts of things. Because we do have the letter coming through first. So I do feel as though that's what this is for you here, Leo. This is some sort of communication, you know, from some sort of authority, like some sort of like a real estate, or it could be a governmental thing. I'm picking up for someone here, it's like a government thing. It feels like it's kind of like an offer, to be honest. I'm not seeing any cards of offer, but that's what this, it feels like, you know, like receiving paperwork of like an offer, even though you're not actually trying to sell. You get an offer and you're kind of like, oh, this might be too good to refuse. We hadn't even thought about this until we got the offer. So that's kind of what I'm picking up here. It may be for some of you, it's like a letter or something saying, oh, there's going to be, you know, public works, you know, in your street or in your neighborhood that may affect your housing. So there may be like work happening on the street that's going to somehow affect you and your property. And I hate to say it, Leo, but for somebody there may be this actually could be an upcoming, oh, I'm sorry, we're selling your property. Because it's like if you're renting, of course, or you're living with others that and you're not like the owner of the property. If you're not the owner of the property, there may just be, it doesn't feel like all of you, you know, applicable here, just maybe one or two of you where, you know, there may be like something coming up where the owner is actually choosing to take an offer to sell the property. But what we actually see coming through after that here, Leo, we have the clover followed by the clouds. So if something like that were to happen, Leo, where you're kind of getting that eviction notice where you need to move, we're going to sell the property, you know, there's stuff going on, here's this really great offer, would you like to accept that? I kind of feel like a lot of you have actually already been thinking about, in the back of your mind, like thinking about maybe moving, or, you know, that those sorts of things. Maybe some of you have been thinking about investing elsewhere as well with that clover, because that is, you know, investments and taking a chance, taking a gamble. it does show us that you've got, there's some good short-term luck surrounding you. So even if there does seem to be some sort of negative news coming through in regard to your house, your housing, it may actually be the chance that you really need in a positive way, even if it feels very negative and there may actually be, a potential investment in your own future here coming out of this in a positive kind of way here, Leo. So think it through clearly. Think it through very carefully. Be logical about it rather than emotional about the situation. Because yes, it may be scary if regardless of whether it's a good or a bad thing happening here. It may just be a little bit scary and just throw you for a little second. But the more that you're trying to think this through logically, the more you actually will be able to see how this is enabling you to invest, how to this may be the chance that you've been waiting for, like there may be some sort of risk that you're going to take from that all sort of starts from this. And if this didn't happen, maybe you would never have taken that risk, which does seem to be a very positive thing in the long run. Okay, so I know that sounds a little bit scary, a bit daunting, Leo, but it does seem to be, all for the right reasons in the long run. All right. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe, and we'll move on to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo. Anything Virgo needs to know in regard to house and home. Housing and home life for our Virgos. You're being presented with a choice here, Virgo. We have the crossroads coming through. So it's not so much that it's a choice, it's that because it may not be a choice for some of you. It may be more along the lines of deciding whether or not I'm going to stay on this path. Okay, so I feel as though you're the first ones, Virgo, where we haven't come through with very, physical housing messages. The housing issues around you seem to be more to do with people, all right? Because we do have here the lily and the ring. So your housing, your home life is dependent on, choosing, is this the right path for you? And it's got to do with, the emotional intimacy and the relationship. It's kind of like, if you choose to stay the path, it's your housing seems to be just very dependent on if you're choosing this relationship and choosing to stay the path, things are staying the same. But this is kind of the point, Virgo, where your housing situation is just seems to be linked with a relationship. So, for some of you that may work out the other way around, like this may be the spot in the relationship where do I move in with this person? So your housing situation really depends on what's happening with the relationship. So if you're staying the path of the relationship, you can sort of ascertain where the housing situation is going from there. That if you're staying with this person, you may be moving in together or just staying where you are with this person. Whereas if you're choosing to take a bit of a detour here when it comes to this relationship, you may be moving house because and then ultimately if you're living separately from this relationship already, staying in the house that you're already in instead of moving out with this person or having this change. So it's dependent on the relationship. So it is a potentially long-term relationship here. So someone that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a love relationship. This could be like a long-term relationship with a friend or a family member. But there's just somebody else that you're just choosing as to whether you are going to stay the path with that connection. So the connection itself and what you're choosing to do with that relationship is the main question when it comes to your housing and whatever you choose with the connection. So if you are being faced with choices, what am I going to do here? That's kind of the advice. Don't worry about the housing, worry about the relationship, because everything else falls into place around the relationship and the choices being made to do with the relationship. Okay, Virgo. That's what we have for you. More than welcome to check your other placements. Subscribe to the channel and we will move on to Libra. Okay, Libra. Libra, house and home for Libra. Libra, what is Libra needing to know right now in regard to housing or home life? I feel like I picked up this same message for you a while ago, Libra, in one of the monthly sort of overviews where we were looking ahead at things that might happen for you in the future. I think we're getting closer and closer to those things actually happening for you here, Libra. Because the first card we have is the Scythe. So this I feel like this may actually be talking about something big happening for you when it comes to house and home, Libra, because this card signifies unexpected changes. Okay, so it talks about it can talk about like breaking free, cutting things out, but it's not the physical house breaking. Okay, it's not anything breaking in the house. Although, it is Mercury retrograde, so do not be surprised if something electrical breaks, especially, where tomorrow is actually the last day of retrograde. So, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next sort of 24 hours. Just be warned. I feel like that may be relevant here for some of you. But the next card we have is the Lily. So the Lily is an emotional card. Okay, it talks about emotions. So if something is breaking, it's like emotionally, to be honest. It's a sudden change in emotions. I'm kind of getting, the phrase, the straw that broke the camel's back. So for some of you, you might be sort of running around going, I've had it up to here. And then something happens out of nowhere and up to here is now bang. That's it. I'm going to make some changes. So there is a big change. It does feel like some sort of big change, and it seems to be emotionally. I'm not saying that this is necessarily like a huge negative thing either. This could definitely be a positive thing because the emotional stuff that comes through with the Lily, it's a long-term energy, and it talks about vulnerability. So this could be something about, finally getting that breakthrough moment of vulnerability with somebody in your home life, that maybe you've been waiting for. And it does actually look for a lot of you that this actually does lead to sort of positive energy because, we do have the key here as well, which the key, whatever this change is, this unexpected change, cutting something out, breaking free from something emotionally, it's bringing through, new opportunities on the other side of that. For some of you, this is actually a brand new, property even because, it's a key. It unlocks things. It's like you may be literally unlocking your second home or a brand new home. I don't know why I said second home, but maybe some of you are purchasing a second home or there's something to do with a second property here. I am getting like an office space, maybe for somebody, opening up a new space. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a whole entire home. It's like maybe you're doing an extension or something as well. Like for some of you, it could be that sort of thing as well, that you finally got this new opportunity to open up the new door, whether it be just one door, the front door, or a door for another room, or a brand new house, or, an investment property, or whatever that door is. It does feel like there may be a physical door there for a couple of you. But it leads you to brand new opportunities, which are all successful one way or another. Okay, so there's a lot of success coming from this change. So even if, sometimes the interesting thing with the scythe is that sometimes it can, especially with the lily here as well, it can set us off, and we might feel a little bit vulnerable because this is so unexpected, out of the blue. This has changed so suddenly. It may, just throw us out a little bit here. What do I do? There may be some high emotions that come through with that scythe, because it's sometimes, change is scary. Yeah, but it does, rest assured, it does look like it is for the highest good in the long term. All right. So long-term success is going to be yours. It's just a matter of, getting through the big change to start with. All right, Libra. So that's what we have for you. More than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Scorpios. Scorpio. Ooh. House and home for our Scorpios. House and home for Scorpio. I feel as though I did just have one fly out already, Scorpio. I feel like that may have been a message for a specific Scorpio that I know. But it's such a good one. I'm just going to give it to all of you. We have the sun flew on out. Happiness. Happy home, Scorpio. Okay? Things come into light that bring you happiness when it comes to the house, the home life. Okay? I feel like, pardon me. For some of you, this is kind of, it's just wanting to refer to something that's already happened for some of you. I know for that Scorpio in my personal life that she'll know straight away that this is something that has just recently happened for her with housing. Because firstly, we see the tower, so that sometimes can talk about, something that, in the past. It may be in the past already. And, we have good news coming from that there. So there might have been some really good news in the recent past for some of you regarding housing. That tower, it does talk about, it's kind of like the authority, the people in charge of the housing. So, if you are renting, a lot of the time this can refer to landlords, real estates, that sort of a thing. Strong foundations as well. So even if it's not referring to, because it can talk about things like government authority as well. So like land zoning and, building application departments and, all that sort of stuff. But, good news is on the way, or you've just received good news from whatever that is for you in your personal situation. So, you've either received good news from the owner, or you've received, like if you're wanting to do renovations, for example, you've received, good news, your application to go ahead with that is approved. Good news from the builders that, yes, we can get that done for you, no problem. So it's something that works out long term as well. Okay, we have the lilies here as well. So this is, it's working out for you in the long term, whatever this is for you individually. it's sort of sticking around as a positive for the long term. I'm feeling a lot of emotional stability coming through with that Lily as well. So for those of you where you have had some concerns in regard to the housing stuff, it feels like you're moving into a much happier emotional zone when it comes to your housing, like a feeling a lot safer and secure within yourself, emotionally, because overall happy home. Okay, a lot of warmth and happiness. So for some of you too, especially those of you who are in like America, for example, where it is currently winter, maybe that was like an application to get some sort of heating connected to the housing, or get heating looked at or something like that. And we see warmth. Okay, so you're pretty safe and secure with that. All right, so for those of you, it could actually be talking about heating for a couple of you there as well. All right, but more than welcome to check out your other placements. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's shadow work reading as well. Moving on to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know right now in regards to house and home? Housing and home life for Sagittarius. Housing and home life for our Sagittarius. That's a weird message. Oh, that's quite a lot. Quite a lot that just fell out there, but they seem to still be supporting what I initially heard there. Just clarifying this message for Sagittarius, please. Why is this relevant to Sagittarius when it comes to housing, home life? Okay, whatever this is, it's soon at an end. When I've clarified that, we do have the rider clarifying that. So, good news. We're almost there. We're almost... This is one of those readings, Sagittarius, where, me trying to work out what this could mean in your reality, it's just not... I'm just not really understanding it, but it's feeling like, for those people where, this message is for you, that you will understand what the message is. It's what I like to call my Tyler Tarot moments, where I'm like, I'm really not connecting with this reading. But then, anyone that watches Tyler does know that when he says that, that's when he's usually pretty accurate. He just doesn't, the message isn't for him, so he doesn't know what it is. That's what I'm kind of getting here. Because I did get one really it's coming off as an odd message. Firstly here, I have the bear, followed by the cross, as well as the clouds. Okay, so the initial message I'm getting has actually got something to do with like a cemetery or a graveyard, or something that's buried on the property, like something underground. I'm getting underground for some reason with that cross energy, and it's like, because it's giving like cemetery vibes, which the cross does not normally do that. So it's very interesting, because I am feeling that for some of you though, it seems to be this, your thoughts, not necessarily reality. Okay, so some of you may just be like creeping yourself out around the house or something like that. Like, are you like worried there's spirits or something in your house? Like, it seems to be coming more so from your thoughts than actual reality. if that kind of makes sense. Like maybe you're just worried that you like, I live so close to the graveyard, you know, maybe I've got ghosts or something like that, you know, because you're kind of feeling as though you need to I need to protect the house. I'm getting, you know, you thinking that you need to protect your house from like the cemetery. So that's the main message I was getting there, Sagittarius. I am getting that if that's for you, it's not as worrisome as you think. Okay. Um, don't be scared. I kind of feel like it's just giving me this energy of like somebody may have just found out something was buried on the property, or you've found something that was buried on the property, and it's made you sort of freak out and worry about like about the house or about ghosts or something, you know, that you need to protect yourself. You know, go right ahead and you know, protect yourself and, you know, cleanse the house and whatever you need to do for your own peace of mind. That's perfectly fine. You know, I'm telling you that it doesn't feel like there's any reality to this. It seems to be more so it's just in your thoughts very heavily. You know, and we do see the rider there as well. So, you know, clarifying that. So, you know, good news. There's no, you call in a exorcist and good news. There's no demons to get rid of. Whatever that is. Okay. But for others of you, it could actually be more along the lines of home security. All right. Good news. The home security system works. What you like, for some of you, I feel like this may just be you wanting to protect your property, protect your home, protect your house. You know, and I am getting that energy of, you know, go ahead and do that because it's more so for your own peace of mind. But good news, now that you've got that security system installed, you've also got peace of mind and, you know, you are protected. You know, the bear is protection. It looks after you and nurtures you and you know, nurtures your spirituality as well. So I'm strongly still getting that spirit message there too. So you know, if you feel like you need to cleanse your house, go ahead and do that. You know, just for those of you who do have concerns, I am hearing the bell cleansing may work for you very well. So get yourself a little bell. I went to an op shop and got a little bell. Okay, these are really good. Doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't have to have cute. It just needs to be a little bell. I just find the real light tones seem to work better. Walk around your house from, you know, all in a clockwise direction. So go through each room in a clockwise direction, ringing the bell around, you know, the outline of the room clockwise, and then do that for the entire property as well. Okay, that's a really simple, quick way you can actually, you know, cleanse any bad energy, bad spirits from your home. Okay, you can use that in conjunction with, you know, other methods as well. But I just personally like that one as well because, you know, music does quite often, frequency quite often does, you know, work really, really well. A lot of people don't utilize that as much as it could be. But yeah, that's what I have for you today, Sagittarius. Very interesting. You know, let me know in the comments if that's something that you know, have been worrying about. You know, let me know. I actually had a comment on yesterday's video about evil spirits in the house. So, but that was an Aries. So there you go. Maybe that person has a Sagittarius placement as well. All right. So more than welcome to check your other placements. Of course, Sagittarius. Subscribe to the channel and we will move on over to our Capricorns. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn. House and home for our Capricorns. Anything Capricorn needs to know in regard to housing or home life. Do you have a child in the house, Capricorn? Is that an actual child? Please clarify. Okay, so Capricorn, the first card we have is the child card. Okay, so I'm getting a couple of different messages here because, you know, for some of you, this child is actually older. So it may even be an adult, but you consider that a child or your child. I don't know whether they're actually in the house, but it's talking about home life as well. So it's obviously a child that is connected to you and the home life situation, right? This child, for those of you with the older child, I'm getting like 12 and above, a child from 12 all the way through to adulthood. For those of you where that's the situation for you, this child might be taking some risks. All right, we do have risk-taking behavior coming through, impulsive behavior coming through with the clover here as well. So this person may be taking some risks, and I really need you to look after that situation, Capricorn, because I am actually getting, you know, the garden is the next card here, which is meeting up with people, meetings, clandestine meetings, and social stuff. So they may be taking some very social, impulsive risks, or like dating risks, meeting up with people not necessarily safely. So it's very, very important for you to communicate with this child. Okay, we have the letter there as well, clarifying that. So it's very, very important for you to have open, you know, communication and to communicate as much as possible about, you know, whatever that is for your particular situation. For some of you, it may even be like a child sneaking someone into the house or sneaking out of the house to meet somebody or some, you know, to that, or go, you know, party with their friends or something like that. Okay, so just be aware of that, Capricorn, for those of you with the 12 and aboves. For the younger ones, if you do have a younger child in the house, if because it's telling me about my personal situation here, because I'm a Capricorn as well. So this may be relevant to those of you with younger children, like myself. I have a 7-year-old. Okay, and so this is kind of telling me that, you know, if I you know, take a chance on meeting up with anyone, or take a chance on meeting somebody new, you know, I am single. And it doesn't necessarily mean with love either. It could just be like meeting new people, bringing new people into the house, you know, friends, family that, you know, it feels like it might, you know, oh, taking a chance to introduce this person to my child. It's very, very important that you communicate clearly with that child before you go ahead and take that chance, take that risk. Okay, because, you know, they're all positive energies, so it's not really feeling hugely dramatic or anything like that, but I just feel as though there's a need to discuss it with the child and make sure the child understands, especially for really young children. Just make sure the child understands that, you know, or you know, or even, you know, communicate clearly with yourself about, you know, do I want to introduce this person to my child? should I wait? That kind of thing. So those sorts of messages are coming through there as well. So obviously this is mostly going to resonate for people with children, in the house, in the home. But, for those of you, but like just in general, Capricorn, the child does talk about new adventures a little bit here as well. And it can be like your inner child, being very playful and having fun with things. So especially with that clover there as well, taking a chance, taking a risk to get out and about, go public, if that makes sense. Go somewhere public, like rather than the house. You with both the garden and the letter here, there may be an invitation that you probably should accept it. Okay, so if you've been invited somewhere, public, social, an event, take a chance to go. It may really pay off for you, just in the sense of having fun and a new beginning for yourself, new adventures for yourself as well, Capricorn. So getting quite a few messages there. But yeah, I just do want to reiterate. I'm just sensing a young girl that may be sort of sneaking out of the house to meet up with somebody. I just, maybe it's because I watch too much Bailey Sarian and true crime stuff. Just, safety. Make sure we're having those conversations about, safety with those children. I'm really picking up strongly on a female child, somewhere between 12 and like it's a teenager, where they're like, because it's kind of giving me this 12 going on 20 kind of energy. So it could be any age between there. But it's someone just, they maybe try to act a little bit more mature than they truly are. And they may not take their safety as seriously as they should be. Okay. So just have some conversations, open communication with that person, for those of you where you have someone in your home that fits that. Okay, you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel as well, Capricorn. Shadow work reading tomorrow, guys. Keep an eye out for that. So we will move on over to our Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. House and home for Aquarius. Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to know in regard to housing or home life? Steady as she goes, Aquarius, you're not going anywhere. This is a very, it feels kind of like a specific message here, because I did have one fly out, all right, and I can see it. It's the anchor, okay? Steady. You're not moving. You're staying put. I'm holding fast. I'm not moving. I'm not budging. I'm being very stubborn and I am not moving. I refuse to move. So I don't know exactly what this means for you personally, but the next card we have, like the first, when I've actually drawn the actual cards, the first card we have is the ship, which that's what the anchor needs to stop and hold down. So there is someone within the home that's, or it could be like an offer, because the next card is the letter. So there might be something happening where it's like, Aquarius, you have to travel. Aquarius, you have to move. Aquarius, you have to, or Aquarius, I'm going to move. I'm going to travel. And you need to stay steady as she goes and refuse to budge, basically. It's very interesting because, the third card I have here is the fox. Okay, so this may actually be somebody trying to play games with you a little bit here. That can be a bit sneaky. The fox can be a little bit sneaky. So it's kind of like the way that somebody is communicating with you. Oh, you've got to move, you've got to travel. It's something a little bit sneaky here. So for those of you where this is like, I'm just trying to think of examples that make sense with what I'm seeing here. Like in the example of, and definitely not saying that this is happening, because it doesn't actually feel like this is going to be, correct for majority of you here. But, in the case that communication is Aquarius, you have to move. You're getting kicked out. You have to move. There's something very sneaky about the paperwork. All right. It's kind of this energy of like, they're telling you this, hoping that you'll just do what they say, rather than actually realizing that they have no legal leg to stand on, kind of thing. That there's nothing. It's not illegal. It's not a legality. They're trying to trick you into it, kind of energy. So this is this fox does feel someone who's a little bit selfish, a little bit sneaky. They think they're really clever, but I feel like you just need to be very solid and stubborn and I'm not going anywhere kind of energy. I'm just sort of intuitively picking up, short-term travel seems to be fine. That doesn't seem to be too much of a drama. It's like more permanent, like longer travel or more permanent travel. You need to think about, things like that. Like, and because I am getting that, this is like, it's even giving me here, like, like the neighborhood Karen putting a letter in your mailbox saying, if you don't do this, you're going to get kicked out, or something like that. And like, when you read it, you're like, I'm not even going to like pay attention to that because it's ridiculous. It does feel a little bit ridiculous. Like, I do feel as though it's someone trying to trick you into believing something. And it's especially with documents. It's kind of like, or like, we don't really have them here in Australia, the HOA thing, the housing association thing. We don't really have it here in Australia, but it's kind of like someone trying to trick you into paying HOA fees, but you are actually not a part of the HOA or something like that. Okay, so that may not resonate for everybody, but you're more than welcome to check your other placements. With the full moon so close, your moon sign might be quite strong for you. We will be doing the full moon shadow work reading tomorrow as well, so keep an eye out for that one. And we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces, housing and home. What's going on for Pisces with house and home life? Anything Pisces needs to know in regard to house and home? I just got the phrase Better Homes and Gardens. It's a TV show here in Australia, Better Homes and Gardens. But it's kind of like, it's giving me this energy of like something to do with like keeping up with the Joneses kind of energy, where you have to have like because Better Homes and Gardens here in Australia, it's a TV show, but I'm pretty sure they've got there's a magazine as well. And it's kind of giving me this energy of like, you've got to have your house all pristine and, magazine worthy kind of energy, and keeping up with the Joneses. You feel it just feels like pressure a little bit around you here, Pisces. Like, you're being pressured to have a show home rather than a lived in home. is kind of what I'm getting. And like especially the garden. For some reason, the external of the house is coming through really strong here. Your reading is actually a little bit similar to what we just saw for Aquarius as well. So if you do have a strong Aquarius placement or you're on the cusp, maybe check that as well. Because the first card we do have is the garden. No, it's not. The garden is coming through super strong, but it's not the garden card. I don't know why I said that. Your front yard, your garden keeps coming through. Maybe it's a good time for you to do some gardening, or you need to do some gardening. Focus on some gardening. Okay, Pisces. Maybe that's the way you make your show home. The inside of the house can, be a mess, but the garden, we need to plant some more flowers or something, okay? But we have the bouquet, the flowers. So definitely flowers in the yard might be a really good thing. Pretty flowers. Oh my gosh. This is a very interesting energy because the flowers is, it's like, it is a really positive energy, ultimately. It talks about, reciprocal energy, you giving your time, your love, your energy, and then receiving back time, love, energy in return. It can sometimes talk about, the like the fruit of your labor, the reward for all your hard work. So, if you are doing some gardening, then it's kind of like, the more effort that you put into the home, the more you're going to get back from that, back to you. So there may be the need to present your home in some sort of fashion here. Better home and garden. Somehow making your home better, and so interesting. We do have the crossroad coming through as well. So, the pathway could have to do with your driveway, your pathway, making that look just a little bit more presentable somehow. Some of you may be, resurfacing your driveway, things like that, especially if you've got a long driveway. We do have the snake here as well. So if you do have like a long driveway, because I am now seeing like a long swirly driveway, like that image, there may be the need to just sort of do some maintenance on that driveway. So checking for loose bricks and loose, putting in a little bit of effort, okay? Putting in a little bit of work so that it pays off for you in a positive way here, Pisces. For those of you who do have a pathway or a driveway, that itself, the garden, they may be significant areas here. Flowers in the front yard seems to be coming through heavily as well. But it's kind of this energy here. The crossroads, it does talk about which path you're going to take here, choosing, making a decision. And then the snake is, the snake in this is actually talking about finding alternate choices, doing things like this instead of straight lines. Because, like a snake, if you think about an actual snake, and they don't move in a straight line. They move, they slither around, and they slither around things, and they can they get around obstacles instead of they come up to a big cliff face, and instead of, bang a cliff face, turn around, go the other way, that snake will sneak its little way in through any little crack. So you know, it's kind of like you're choosing to do something, you know, to take a different path, to take a different, you know, sneak your way around something. But at the same time, you're giving your time, your love, your energy to your physical house. But you know, maybe it's saying that it's okay to cut corners a little bit here as long as it looks presentable, because it does seem to be just this idea of the look, because it's like this idea of you know, like very common with children. You ask a child to clean their room, and they just shove everything under the bed, and then just chuck a blanket over it. It looks presentable. It's still a mess, but it looks presentable. So maybe that's why we're seeing flowers, because maybe you're choosing to, you know, pretty it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more presentable on the surface to be that blanket hiding all the stuff underneath. A very interesting message here, Pisces. It's just sort of saying, yeah, you don't have to do A or B. You can choose a brand new path and do it a different way. Try it a different way. You know, if you're struggling to give so much time and effort to the house, to the home life, maybe try things a little bit differently. Try to be a little bit snaky. Also, I do want to add here, any Pisces that are in Australia, literally watch out for snakes, please, in your garden. It's that time of year, guys. So make sure you do watch out for snakes if you are in Australia or a country where that might be an issue. So I know it's definitely an issue here in Australia. So there you go. There you go. That's what we have for you today. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. Subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye out for that shadow work reading tomorrow for the full moon, and I'll see you there.